So we opened ACE about 10 years ago. You know, and I would say as far as basic operations and sustainability, we do a lot of what a lot of other businesses do, and we recycle, we use sustainable products, all of that kind of stuff. But the really cool thing about ACE was the build out. And really everything, most everything in here was either recycled, repurposed to make up just the really interesting decor here.
The table?
So for example, the table, this is boxcar flooring taken from train boxcars. And the seats that we're sitting on, these were stumps, tree stumps out of someone's front yard. And we have shipping containers and parts of old airplanes and caps off of CO2 bottles and picket fences and all sorts of things that just make the interior really, really cool, but also highlights a little bit of that sustainability.
When we talk about sustainability, the first thing that comes to mind usually is the environment. But then there are all these other pillars as well. There's an economic, and there's also a kind of social imperative, right?
The sustainability of people is one of the most important parts of our company. So I have about 135 employees, and it's hard to retain employees in the restaurant business. It's a very hard business to be in. It's a lot of work, and honestly, for most people, it's a means to an end. So they're working in restaurants to try to do something else while they're going to school, working on a degree, things like that. So it's as restaurateurs, we really do need to work very hard to try to be the best possible employer to get people to come work for us and also to have them work for us for as long as possible. So some things that we really do is we put a lot of focus on our company culture. We also put a lot of focus on our wellness program and our benefits.
And Mark, I know you represent the Colorado Restaurant Foundation, and one of your missions is to really strengthen the experience of suppliers, restaurateurs, diners. How does sustainability fit into all of this?
Well, there are a number of ways, and I'm thinking about ACE Eat Serve particularly. We have a program called ProStart that starts kids in high school, 16, 17, 18 years old, teaches them how to cook, how to run a restaurant, how to cost a menu, so they get a complete culinary and hospitality education, you know, appropriate to high school students. Well, we try to match them up with chefs and mentors from the restaurant industry. So from that aspect, you know, sustainability in the workforce, you see this whole development of a young person into a trained professional, and for me that's great, and to have a restaurant like ACE helping us do that is really good.
So you work together then?
We do. You know, and there's another actually program that we're working together with right now too, that is their apprenticeship program. And that basically gives restaurants a step-by-step way to give a certification to people that are already in your organization, or you can bring them in from ProStart or out from the outside, where we are training future leaders of the restaurant industry.
See more and more people talking to us as the foundation and saying, we want to learn how to keep employees long-term, or we want to learn how to hire from outside the standard hiring pool. We want to look at people in, you know, maybe typically overlooked communities or disadvantaged communities.
When I hear your stories both, it kind of also reminds me of where we are, you know, with the ping pong. The ball just goes back and forth, and you're in this together, you know, and you're helping each other, volleying things back and forth.
You were talking about initially about sustainability, meaning sourcing and recycling, and those things are all still very important, and there are restaurants who focus on that. But there are other things that they're focusing on now, you know, like health and wellness, and especially mental health.
You're in a very intense environment, oftentimes fueled with maybe a couple beverages or an angry guest or who knows what's going on, and that can be really taxing on your mental health. You're not getting great sleep, you're working weird hours, and because that conversation has come up so much more in the forefront, it has forced restaurants to really be a little bit more aware of how to not only have the conversation with our employees about it, but also what we can do to support their mental health and well-being.
During the pandemic, we gave out over $4 million in grants, $1,000 at a time, to people just experiencing hardship, family emergencies, and now we've launched another side of that where we're giving out mental health and wellness grants.
All these programs, even if you as an employer, they cost money. How do you decide, this is expensive, this will eat into my profits, and yet I need to do this because it's the right thing to do, if not the more sustainable thing to do?
Yeah. Honestly, it's never been a choice for us. That's just how we've always chosen to run our business. Now, of course, we have to make sure that financially we are successful. Right? We have to make sure that it is a sustainable business on a very basic level. But I think what we have learned over the years is that at the end of the day, this doesn't work unless I have amazing people as part of it. And investing in my people is investing in my business.